Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of Sunday, November 4th through Saturday, November 10th. There's tons of stuff, probably more than ever at one time that I can recall at least going on. So I'm going to try to go through them quickly. First, I'm going to delineate what they are, and then I'll go back and talk about each one so that I'll do them in order. So if you want to fast forward by one or make sure that you particularly tune into one, you'll be able to do that. Also, if you are not already a subscriber of this channel and would like to be, please do like, share, subscribe, and then hit the notification button as well. I continue to have problems with, my viewers not always receiving their notifications. So also, if you're already a subscriber and supposedly signed up to receive the notifications, you may want to check to make sure that you still are, because sometimes people will say, I fell off somehow. It's not me. I don't knock you off. I welcome you to be on. Today, I got a message from YouTube, Gmail, that they had approved, finally, for viewing for all, a video that was about a minute long that I did at least a month ago, if not longer. It was a live video of one of my candles burning, and the wick had split in two, and it had two separate flames burning. And I just entitled it Actual Twin Flames. And I let people watch for a few minutes, or for like a minute, a few seconds, I should say. Somebody reported that. Okay, that's the kind of stuff I deal with. So that's why I have to ask you to like, share, and subscribe. That, and the fact that YouTube, is always like nudging me to do so. All right, so with that out of the way, let's get into it. Let me announce all these things that are going on. On the Christian calendar is the feast day of Mary, Mediatrix of Graces, on the 7th. On the Hebrew calendar, on the 9th, is the new month starts. The month of Kislev begins. On the celestial calendar, we're going to have a new month on the Islamic calendar too. Oh, what month is that? I should have looked that up, because I don't remember off the top of my head. In any case, I'll go over that another time, because soon we're going to have to talk about some holidays during the month of November that is special for Islam anyway. But for this week, on the celestial calendar, okay, we're going to begin with the 6th. At 12:58 p.m., Uranus square the true node, 0 degrees 0, 0. So that is Uranus square Leo, November 6, 12:58. But then at 1:09, so just minutes later, Uranus leaves Leo, where it's been for about a year, and enters Cancer. So the south node will also change ultimately from Aquarius to Capricorn, when the true node moves from Leo to Cancer. Also November 6th at 1:59, so 50 minutes later, Uranus, which is currently located in Taurus, where it's been for months and where it will ultimately be for the next 8 years. It's currently retrograde in Taurus. It moves into Aries for temporarily, also on the 6th. November 7th at 10:47 a.m., Jupiter trine the true node, 29 degrees 49. So 11 and 11, 11. So it's like 29, 49, 69, because the symbol for Cancer is like a 69 on its side. That's the way my mind works. Because again, the true node at that point will have moved into Cancer. Also on November 7th at 11:02 a.m., the new moon, 15 degrees 11 in Scorpio. That's the same day as the feast day of Mary, and the day that Jupiter is trine the true node. On November 8th at 1:20 a.m., Jupiter quincunx Uranus, 29 degrees 57. And then also on November 8th at 7:38 a.m., Jupiter enters Sagittarius, which it rules. So again, I'll try to go over each of those in order. But first, Mary. Let's do Mary. Again, her holiday is on the 7th. And for that, I'm going to www.wikipedia.org. Mediatrix of all graces. It's a title that Roman Catholics give to the Blessed Virgin Mary as the Mother of God. It includes the understanding that she mediates the divine grace. Interesting. In a papal encyclical of September 8th, 1894. So September 8th is the day on which they put Mary's birthday. Of course, it's not really her birthday. It's the day that they put her birthday on. The year 1894 does equal 13 or 4 or 1111. And it was Pope Leo the 13th of 4 or 1111 who states the following, quote, "The recourse we have to Mary in prayer follows upon the office she continuously fills by the side of the throne of God as the mediatrix of divine grace." So sort of she's a mediator is what they're saying. Pope Leo the 13th, of course, again said that. And that is his reason. It goes on to do, to talk about how they got to the definition, how it's celebrated in different places around the world. And if you want to read more about that, you can, but I'm going to move on because, again, there's so many things. So going to the Jewish calendar, again, the month of Kislev begins on the 9th. And to tell you a little bit about what that means, I'm going to www.shabbat.org. Kislev is the 9th month on the Jewish calendar, counting from Nisan. It's best known for the holiday of Hanukkah, which begins on the 25th of Kislev. The message of Hanukkah is that the eternal power of light over darkness, good over evil. See, told you. Aside from commemorating the miraculous victory, did I tell you? Because I meant to. I don't know if I said it, but I meant to talk about how we continue with the thin veil, and we continue in this very optimum time for people to get the services that they need. Any more, more optimum than any other time, in my opinion, because the veil is so thin, because so many people are celebrating simultaneously around the world the same things. While the Jews are celebrating for a whole month, light over dark, good over evil, so is the rest of the East. Right? They're celebrating Diwali all over the East and in Trinidad and in Guyana. And so that energy can be reverberated around and around and around. When people get together and pray at the same time, it's heightened. And that's our purpose. That's what we're put here to do, to ultimately, collectively, we always talk about the collective, collectively increase the vibration of love on the planet. So that's what will be happening. That's why it's an optimum time for you to get whatever services you need. Again, whether you get them from me or not, but I do recommend that you get them, if you didn't get them last week or this week, that you get them next week. And if you still don't, again, it will, for at least in the Hebrew calendar, that energy continues through the month of Kislev. So yeah, it's a month that's focused on good over evil. Aside from commemorating the miraculous victory of the small Jewish army over the mighty Syrian Greek Empire, Hanukkah celebrates the miracle of the oil when the Jews sought to light the temple menorah after the war. They found only one small jug of pure oil. Miraculously, the one-day supply burned for 8 days, and the sages instituted the 8-day festival of Hanukkah, on which we kindle the menorah nightly. In this month, we celebrate the redemption of Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, the founder of Chabad Hasidism, who has been imprisoned on false charges by the Tsarist regime. Okay, I don't know about that, but I don't know anything about that. You can follow that part too if you're interested. These charges were reflective of spiritual charges brought against him for openly teaching the deepest insights of the Torah. On the 19th of Kislev, he was freed. So he was wrongfully imprisoned. They let him out. Paving the way both physically and spiritually to continue teaching Hasidism. See, I'm learning something too. I didn't know this. The day is referred to as the New Year of Hasidism. I didn't remember that at all, if I ever knew it. And that is the month of Kislev. Speaking of Hasidism, They're also having around the country, at least United States of America, people of different faiths, varying faiths, going to synagogue in honor of, or in recognition of the 11 dead last week. It was the largest. I mean, other races, my own, very much included, have had far larger incidents in the United States. But it was the largest incident of terrorism on Jews on American soil ever recorded. So, and in 2018, it shouldn't happen. So there will be people going to different synagogues for the Sabbath. I think I'm going to go to Wall Street Synagogue tomorrow. So if anybody's in Lower Manhattan, they want to go over there, you might see me there. All right, next thing. November 6th, 12:58 p.m., Uranus square, true node, 0 degrees, 00. For that, I'm going to www.theastrologer.com/romantic-personality/Uranus-square-north-node-RP, as in like repost. Okay. Uranus square north node, the drive for independence. Romantic personality profile by Kelly Fox. Again, this is completely arbitrary that I picked this. You're committed to individualism and independence, which may make it hard for you to commit to a lover. You tend to look down on people who go for traditional unions like marriage because the house, the 2.3 kids, and the 2-car garage all look to you like traps designed to chain you to mediocrity. You want to do it your own way, not the way that society has prescribed for you. Well, Uranus does rule Aquarius, so that's not surprising, right? And you can't chain down a lion. It's going to be square Leo, the north node. So it totally makes sense to me. That's a positive goal, she says, but the way you go about it may not be so positive. After all, it's great to follow your own drummer and to make your own way through the maze of love and relationships. But if you're doing it purely for the sake of sticking it to the man, avoiding traditional relationships just to prove that you're different, well, what's the point? You could be missing out on a lot of love and intimacy, and just because you want to prove something, that's only important to you and you alone. Instead of avoiding commitments like marriage, you should try to examine the reasons why commitments like that make you so uncomfortable. Why do you feel the need to be so different? And what are you giving up in your relentless drive for independence? So this is on what we should focus according to this woman, Kelly Fox. Next up is 109, also November 6th, 109 p.m. The true node enters Cancer. Got it. For that, I'm going to astrology-tag/north-node-in-Cancer. The key planetary transits of 2018 with Margaret Gray. On November 7th, the north node, parenthesis true node, enters Cancer. Blah. On November 7th, in the south node in Capricorn, and remains there until May 2020. So they'll be there longer, it feels at least, than Leo and Aquarius have been the true and south node. In any case, the core themes for this nodal axis include grounded creativity, integrating healthy boundaries with nurturing, balancing the internal parental archetypes toward greater self-love, because these are the parental archetypes, like there's like parent and child, Cancer and Capricorn. Releasing restrictive rules on regulations that are not based on love and emotional openness versus stoicism. So that's talking about that Capricorn energy that tends to be restrictive and tight, right? Saturn, letting go of that. Notice where this nodal axis falls in your natal chart to see what area of your life will be stimulated by these core themes. If your North Node is in Cancer, you will experience a nodal return during this period of time. So I'm having mine right now. And people like me, we're having ours right now. People with the true node in Leo and the South Node in Aquarius. We've had our time. All right, next up. Uranus retrograde enters Aries. For that, I am going to astrostyle, astrostyle.com/Uranus retrograde -in-Aries -temper. And that's the title of her blog here. Uranus retrograde in Aries. Temper. Temper, hot-headed Uranus, the planet of surprise events, radical change and innovation. It backs into low-power retrograde until December. Retrogrades can cause slowdowns and setbacks. They also connect us to the past, reminding us of unfinished business. Uranus is in Aries, the impatient self-starter and the sign of independence. Aries is the star, and having brash Uranus here stokes people's appetite for the spotlight. But Uranus retrograde will show us the limits of saying that, quote, there's no such thing as bad publicity, end quote. Seeking negative attention will backfire. Yes, sometimes it is better to put the ego in time out and to be anonymous, especially when a bad reputation is the only thing you'll gain by speaking out. Extreme personalities can be fascinating, but beware the narcissist masquerading as a charismatic leader. Aries is the sign of anger, so choose your battles wisely now. While righteous anger may spark social change, senseless rage only destroys order and relationships. Beware your urge to be destructive, contrarian, or rebellious. Uranus retrograde is an important time to find healthy outlets for anger and nervous energy. Since Aries is such a physical sign, we suggest vigorous exercise to clear up the buildup of stressful energy. More people may find themselves getting migraines or sinus infections, since Aries rules the head and face. Releasing anger through healthy channels is your best preventative medicine now. Strategy games like crosswords, chess, and puzzles can also unwind your overtaxed brain. Did you drop a revolutionary project or idea halfway through? It's time to go back and approach it from a creative new angle. Or you might just give it a rest and pick it up again next year. This is the time to tweak the master plan and to do your behind the scenes work. Incidentally, Uranus entered Aries on March 11th, the day of the earthquake in Japan. Rebuilding efforts or the real results of the damage may top the headlines again the next 5 months. This could prompt new regulations on nuclear power plants or investigations of some that aren't up to safety guidelines. Uranus retrograde in Aries reminds us not to miss the bigger lessons, especially about our reliance on non-renewable energy sources. Be particularly careful with fire and electricity during this phase. Check the wiring in your home, especially if you live in an old house. Power down your computer at night and unplug cords if you go away on a trip. Make sure the oven is off after you bake too. Make Uranus retrograde your excuse for shutting off those devices and enjoying actual FaceTime without sneaking in a text message at the dinner table. Jupiter trine the true node on November 7th at 10:47 a.m. I'm going to theastrologer.com/personality-profile/Jupiter-trine-north-node. This is also a profile by Kelly Fox. You feel your way through life, confidently trusting that your knowledge and experience will guide you. You've been here before, and this time you know where you're going. You're an adventurer at heart. and you like to travel to faraway lands and to meet many types of people. Somehow it all feels so familiar, like the entire globe is your village. You actively seek to find your correct life path. The decisions you make and the good fortune you encounter all guide you along effortlessly. You simply have to surrender to the forces that are already pushing you along, and you'll be swept in the right direction. Your experience, kindness, and optimism make you an ideal teacher or mentor, someone who can take a younger person under your wing and guide them. Put yourself where these fine qualities can be most used. Before I leave the 7th, let me go on to Diwali from www.wikipedia.org. Diwali, or Deepavali, is the Hindu, Jain, and Sikh festival of lights, which is celebrated every autumn in the Northern Hemisphere, in spring in the Southern Hemisphere. One of the most popular festivals of Hinduism, Diwali symbolizes the spiritual, quote, victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance, end quote. During the celebration, temples, homes, shops, and office buildings are brightly illuminated. The preparations and rituals for the festival typically last 5 days, with the climax occurring on the 3rd day, coinciding with the darkest night of the Hindu lunisolar month of Kartika. In the Gregorian calendar, the festival generally falls between mid-October and mid-November. In the lead up to Diwali, celebrants will prepare by cleaning, renovating, and decorating their homes and offices. During the climax, revelers adorn themselves in their finest clothes, illuminate the interior and exterior of their homes with diyas, which are lamps and candles, and offer puja or prayers to Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity and wealth. They light fireworks and partake in family feasts where mithai or sweets and gifts are shared. Diwali is also a major cultural event for the Hindu and Jain diaspora from the Indian subcontinent. The 5-day festival originated in the Indian subcontinent and is mentioned in early Sanskrit texts. The names of the festive days of Diwali as well as the rituals vary by region. Diwali is usually celebrated 18 days after the Dussehra festival, with Dhanteras, or the regional equivalent, marking the first day of the festival when celebrants prepare by cleaning their homes and laying floor decorations such as rangoli. The 2nd day is Choti Diwali, or equivalent in North India, while for Hindus in south of India, it is Diwali proper. Western, Central, Eastern, and Northern Indian communities observe Diwali on the 3rd day and the darkest night of the traditional month. In some parts of India, the day after Diwali is marked with the Puja and Diwali Padva, which is dedicated to the relationship between wife and husband. Some Hindu communities mark the last day as Bhai Dooj, which is dedicated to the bond between sister and brother, while other Hindu and Sikh craftsmen communities mark this day as Puja and observe it by performing maintenance in their workspaces and offering prayers. Some other faiths in India also celebrate their respective festivals alongside Diwali. The Jains observe their own Diwali, which marks the final liberation of Mahavira. And the Jains, I might mention, were the first to the swastika originated in Africa, like basically everything does. But the Jains were the first to officially, I think the first recorded to officially use it as the symbol of their religion. And they were the peaceful, nonviolent religion that predates Hinduism. They came first. And I'm just thinking of the irony of that they'll be celebrating this week, when again we just had this tragedy in New York. In the Jewish community. I don't know why I said New York. I'm not predicting anything. In the Jewish community, and the swastika is being used, or has long been used, probably about 75 years now, in a negative connotation by hate groups. So just very ironic. Anyway, as I was saying, the Jains observe their own Diwali, which marks the final liberation of Mahavira. The Sikhs celebrate Bandi Kaur Divas to mark the release of Guru Hargobind from the Mughal Empire prison, while Newar Buddhists, unlike the other Buddhists, celebrate Diwali by worshipping Lakshmi. The festival of Diwali is an official holiday in Fiji, Guyana, India, Malaysia, Mauritius, Myanmar, Nepal, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago. So I told you, it's like all over the world. But we get into this thing where Christians begin to think that like they own God and all the celebrations and feast days and stuff, and nobody else in the world is doing anything but them. Anywho, so back to November 7th. At 11:02 a.m., the new moon, 50 degrees Scorpio 11. And Diwali, the reason it's the 7th is because it is in accordance with the moon. So new moon in Scorpio. You know what? I'm going to do a new moon video, so I'm not going to talk about the new moon in Scorpio, but I will mention for this week that Scorpio makes total sense that these are can sometimes be like hypersexual or whatever. The Scorpio does influence those organs, like the sex organs, the genitals, even like the inner organs, the female organ, the ovaries, pelvic region, prostate, rectum, like all this stuff. It's associated with Scorpio, like similar to like Geminis. We got the nervous system, we got the digestive system, boring stuff. They got this. So it's a time when you want to like make sure that those things are ready to be new for new starts, that they're fertile, healthy, and you may want to use the next couple weeks to get checked, particularly if you've been having any kind of issues. It might be a good time to go like to the GYN or, for men over a certain age to have prostate exam or, I don't know. I don't even know. I'm not even used to talking about this. So I'm not even sure why this is coming up. But that's my message for you as it relates to the new moon in Scorpio, at least at this time. And again, I'll do a new moon reading, so I'll talk about it some more. November 8th, 1:20 a.m., Jupiter quincunx Uranus. For that, I will not ramble off the top of my head. I'm going to, it's this woman again. This is weird. I don't remember. I hadn't noticed that I kept opening the links by the same person. But this is also Kelly Fox again. So it is www.new.theastrologer.com/relationship-wrongs/Jupiter-quincunx-Uranus-RW. And the name of this article is Jupiter Quincunx Uranus, Roving Eyes. What's Wrong with My Relationship by Kelly Fox. As a fun exercise, create a list of your past lovers. It's a list full of strange people, all right? Your lovers have been sexy for sure, compelling and exciting and quite attractive. Whenever you introduced your friends, they always raved about the hotties that you managed to bag. Yet, there was always something unstable, something restless, that your lovers couldn't seem to settle down and just be into you. There was always the sense that they had a roving eye and that it may even have landed on a friend or two of yours, or so you feared. You couldn't get comfortable. You couldn't relax. You felt like you had to be on guard, to be in control. But there's no controlling your ideal lover. And that's the fun of it. It's kind of cool to be on your toes, to be forced into being your best self rather than relaxing into a typical self-indulgent laziness. Keep looking until you find just what you want. Someone exciting, someone who brings out the competitive side. Get to the chase, which quickens your blood. Go with it. Don't expect Wait, Don't expect to wrestle your love to the ground and to pin them for a count or three. Instead, hang on and dig the tumult. This is the kind of love that songs are written about. Interesting. And again, that's because Uranus is that freedom seeker. So you can't tie it down. And lastly, November 8th. Oh, that wasn't so bad. I thought I was going to be talking forever. November 8th, Jupiter enters Sagittarius. So it leaves Scorpio is what that means. Jupiter, which has been in Scorpio since last October, on November 8th is leaving, 7:38 a.m. And for that, it's somebody else. Phase Astrology, FAYS astrology.wordpress.com/Jupiter-in-Sagittarius. November 9th, 2018 through December 3rd, 2019. Widening horizons and moving on. While the planet Jupiter transits Sagittarius from the 9th of November 2018 to the 3rd of December 2019, visions of a new future are likely to abound both personally and globally, with a multitude of advocates for more moral and ethical world appearing. There is a strong urge to move on, to improve things, to have more freedom of movement, to accept and to learn from other cultures and beliefs, to make the world a better place. So there is likely to be an increase in people on the move, searching for a new and better life. The quest for something more means restlessness is likely to be rife, but at a much greater sense of optimism. For what can be uplifts and energizes to give a much greater faith in the future and even the belief in miracles. Sagittarius is restless, freedom-loving, fun-loving, a sign symbolized by the archer aiming his arrows high, far and wide, and the centaur, half human, half horse, representing human consciousness combined with the instincts of speed of the horse. It is therefore associated with travel of the mind, body, and spirit, and the understanding of life that we gain from such travel. It is the sign of the explorer, rarely happy with the here and now, but wanting the freedom always to go further and to experience new adventures, explore other cultures and ways of life, and to gain wisdom from them. As a perpetual student of life and all it has to offer, Sagittarius is eager to move on to the experience life to the full and to learn all there is to learn. He is interested in morality and ethics and can be very principled and high-minded. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, improvement, and opportunity, and is also the ruler of Sagittarius, so it's particularly strong during the year it transits Sagittarius. So this is definitely a time to expand our horizons and to go beyond what is already familiar to us. It is a time to learn, to explore, to widen our experience, and to have optimism, to believe in something better and greater, and to find the laws to live by based on higher principles. Jupiter in Sagittarius is a time when we're inspired to learn more, to take a wider view, explore some new area of life, or to take off on some new adventure, to find greener pastures. A time when the urge to break free from the current responsibilities and commitments grows, and discontent and dissatisfaction with the way that things are increases. So this is a time for much moving on from what was, whether job, home, relationships, beliefs, interests, knowledge, anything that we feel is no longer enough for us or restricts us from going further and getting more out of life, we may leave behind. Such a desire for change, for freedom, to further oneself may seem impossible, but it's necessary for growth and development. It is a time to initiate new projects and to expand your activities so that you can experience life from a broader perspective. You may find that you can escape from some narrowing and inhibiting circumstance that has prevented you from releasing and realizing your full potential. Particularly with Uranus in Taurus, which again, it won't be anymore this week. So maybe I don't need to read this. You know what? I don't think I do. If you want to continue to read what happens this year through December 3rd as it relates to Jupiter and Sagittarius. Again, it's on phaseastrology.wordpress.com hyphen Jupiter. / Jupiter -in Sagittarius. All right. 3505 exactly. Not as bad as I thought. I'm going to the dice and beginning with no. Spin money. And weekend away. But then it was also on sex kind of. So there may be that too. You know what this means? There will only be 2 bodies in Scorpio. The sun and the moon this week. Everything else gone. Mercury gone. Venus gone. Jupiter gone. That's something. I wonder what's going to happen with like people like me, who had a lot of the current transits that are in effect this week that won't be anymore in their natal charts. We'll see. Anyway, the dice says sex, sure enough, just like I thought. Also, eat cake. When those two come out together, I always laugh. And yes. Speaking of Scorpio, I'm beginning today with the Knight of Water, emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative, falling in love or wedding proposals, the need to balance emotions, and an invitation to a social event. Opening to life experience or the Tower with Archangel Chamuel, a significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. Opposite the Knight of Water, this could be very good. You could unexpectedly get swept off your feet, or you could come to some realization, some honesty with yourself of with or who, with what or whom you are in love, like what really moves you. Like, I know what I have to do now. And all of a sudden, there's a quick energy that changes everything in your life for you. Somebody could make some sort of proposal to you. That's the Knight of Water does. He makes proposals of different types, and that could sweep you off your feet. Knight of Water is a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, someone making a proposal. And he's often somebody you know already, the Knight of Water. Could be an ex or something. And speaking of Scorpio, opening to major arcana card, the Emperor, which represents the planet Mars, one of Scorpio's rulers. Organization and logic, structure and discipline. The Emperor can be often one's father or boss, some sort of authority, oneself taking back control of their life. Maybe Scorpions in particular are doing that. Again, now that there'll be some ease for them with all of these, major bodies leaving their sign. They'll be freed up. They've been like tied down for a while without anything letting up. At one point they had the Mars retrograde there. Mars, their other ruler, retrograde in Capricorn. Pluto, their ruler, was also retrograde in Capricorn. Jupiter was there for the year. Well, that's enough, isn't it? I think there's more though, so, and every time one thing did end, there were still, other things holding them down or new things that had begun. And so this is, I think, for the first time in probably over a year that they've been sort of freed up. Knight of Water. And major arcana card 21, the World with Archangel Michael. A job well done. Joy, contentment, and gratitude in the path toward enlightenment. This is a fire element energy that is coming in, the universe stepping in to help to ease you out of a situation that may involve some sort of third party, third energy. Maybe a love triangle, but not necessarily. But then again, opposite the Knight of Water, Knight of Water. And speaking of love triangles, it is major arcana card, the Lovers, which represents the sign of Gemini, intimate relationships, carefully weigh your decisions. Also good health. The Lovers is a card that people want to see, in their love reading, and it can mean wonderful things for love, especially next to a card like this, the Knight of Water. But on its own, it can mean like the need to make a decision, maybe as it relates to love, an emotional decision. And it can often, for me, when I read the Lovers, be a decision between like two karmic energies or partners. Two different types of soulmate, for example, maybe. And it's a heart versus head decision. So like your head is telling you what the logical thing to do is, and your heart is telling you what it wants to do. And they're fighting when the Lovers show up sometimes too. The Lovers, I'll go one more. It's the Page of Water, intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. Also, there are heightened psychic abilities. Page of Water is a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio as well. Maybe a younger one. Or someone making some sort of offer of love or of these traits or attributes. Opposite the Lovers, there could be something going on with a water sign and a Gemini, perhaps, or another air sign. Or a decision that has to be made. Do I send an offer of love or do I not? It doesn't make much sense. It's not the logical thing to do, but my heart's telling me to do it. Should I do it anyway? Ace of Air says to be in your truth. That's the way to victory. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations. Seeing the truth of a situation. And a challenging beginning. It's a challenging beginning because it was difficult getting there. Like there was so many struggles. Maybe because you were fighting your head versus your heart so often. But you're here now. Like you made it. You're victorious, triumphant. And there may be some more bumps in the road along the way. But it's a new beginning. Overall energy this week is the Two of Water. A relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, and the positive resolution of a conflict. Crowning the masculine. Ooh, the Three of Air. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. This I feel is either, for some it's like a breakup, a recent breakup. And then for some it's old. It's past stuff that, has come to mind. I guess because they're debating, what do I do? Do I reapproach this situation or person, or do I move on? Do I forget them, let them go? Or do I try again? So that hurt is coming up, or at least the memory of it is coming up. Masculine is surrounded by, however, the Magician, Major Arcana card 1. You are ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them, and life is magical. The Magician is a Gemini for me. Has the ability to manifest whatever it needs to, to resolve its situation, to meet its own needs. The Magician. Major Arcana card 1. And that's what ones are about, right? The thoughts and words that we, think over ourselves and speak over ourselves become our reality. That's what 1 means. Masculine subconscious. The Queen of Water. Tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. In the tarot, the Queen of Water would be a Scorpio, but of course it could be a Cancer or a Pisces as well. It would be a Scorpio because the queens tend to represent the fixed signs of, a given element. So in this case, water, the fixed sign of the element of water is Scorpio. Crowning the feminine, the Two of Earth. Too much going on at once. The need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. This is deja vu from hell. This is, why do I keep coming back to the same situation and reliving the same scenarios? This is needing to find a balance between work and home life or social life and romantic life and other stuff. To find balance with oneself, period. To make a decision, usually of the earthly. Can mean all those different things. Ugh. Yuck. Feminine is surrounded by the Five of Water. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped. Not seeing the positive in a situation and crying over spilled milk. Like you got these 2 cups here, but you're not very appreciative. You're kind of obnoxious, really. And you're just concerned with these 3 here that are on the floor, not counting your blessings, not being thankful, no attitude of gratitude, just, oh, woe is me, all pessimistic and doubtful and unappreciative. Feminine subconscious. The 3 of fire. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. The 3 of fire can absolutely be about that abundance that is on its way for you, but you might need to wait it out a little bit for the fourth stake to be in the ground and you to be on a solid foundation. Or it can have to do with some sort of party of 3, maybe a love triangle. It is interesting that we have a 3 mirroring a 3 here too. This party of 3, for example, that's on the feminine's mind may have been what caused the hurt. Crowning. Renewal. Major Arcana card Judgment, which represents the planet Pluto in the sign of Scorpio, which it rules for me. And this card was in this same spot, I think, for my weekend reading. Yep, it was. It's my weekend reading for my Patreon subscribers, but I was moved to share it publicly. So it's up on my YouTube channel. If you have not seen it, you can check it out. Review and evaluate. A favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. In a general sense, this is about being overly judgmental of oneself. Like the masculine, maybe beating himself up. Like I said, this is like a resurfacing thing, this old pain and hurt and, maybe what he did, what he caused, and it's back up. It's like, all right, like forgive yourself so that you can move on to that, you can seek forgiveness from the person that you hurt. If you just sit here sulking, it doesn't serve anything or anyone, including you. So this is about not being overly judgmental in a general sense. As also ascension, right? Promotion from the universe and stuff. It is about abundance that we have earned. So our karma, our hard work, our good deeds, whatever it was that we put in, the effort is why we're reaping this. We're reaping what we have sown because we deserve it. We're worthy of these things. And as it relates to relationships, it's about a crossroad. We're coming here to decide, like, where do we go from here? If anywhere. Maybe we don't go anywhere. Maybe this is the end of the road. Or maybe we have a new start, a ace of swords. Because it was difficult getting here. It might be some more bumps ahead, but we're getting a brand new start. But it's up to us to decide that. At the root, the 8 of fire. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things are happening at once. The 8 of fire is about just that. The universe sort of doing things behind the scenes to prepare a place for you in different scenarios in your life, different circumstances. It can also be about messages back and forth. Communication, something may arrive in the mail for you. The 8 plus the 3 is another 11 or 2. So then we have 2, 2, 2. And then we got these 3. So, and then they equal a 5. So it's like I need to change from these energies of 3 down to 2 in partnership. At the heart of the matter, speaking of 2, it's the High Priestess, Major Arcana card, the High Priestess, also a Gemini, possibly a water sign. Listen to your intuition, have patience, and consider carefully what you want before acting. So the High Priestess is that type that we've come to a crossroad. We're deciding like where we go from here. Before she makes a move and actually goes anywhere from there, she's been observant. She's been taking it all in. She's going to rely on her intellect. She's super smart, wisdom. Like she's an old soul. She's very intuitive and psychic, so she's got all kinds of syncs and signs and intuitive feelings and things that she's going to rely on. And, and she might listen to you too. And like, what do you have to say? And she can tell if you're lying or what's up. And she won't act unless she has to, or she's moved to. And when she do, it'll be using all of that information. So not just like rushing to judgment or anything, to judgment, no pun intended. We're going to further clarify these though with another tarot deck, and again, another Ace of Swords too, Ace of Winter. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a bad start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to refine your plan and to reshape the goals into something better. Okay, 2 cards here. The 10 of Autumn. Contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and to have pride in your heritage and the accomplishments of your ancestors, but also the Princess of Summer. So another Page of Cups. Sensitive, kind, open-hearted, and inexperienced. You can expect to kindle a new romantic relationship or a close platonic friendship. You may suddenly receive an emotional message from someone or be invited to a social event. So this is another offer of love potentially from a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio potentially. Ace of Winter. And the 9 of Summer. So something you've been waiting for, you prayed for, maybe, wished, dreamed about. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. Sometimes people call the month of Kislev the month of dreams too. I think it's when Joseph was having his dreams. Joseph was a master of dreams. Actually, there was 2 Josephs in the Bible that were masters of dreams, but Mary's Joseph was too. Anyway. The 7 of Winter. Caution will help you to avoid the loss of valuables, including non-material resources such as time and peace of mind. Be aware of the results of your actions as well as what others might be doing behind your back. And that sits right next to the Devil here, or they both wanted to come out at the same time. Major Arcana card number 15, the Devil or ego in this deck. You may feel that you're trapped in a situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus on material wealth and break free of negative thinking. Nine of Summer. And the 8 of Summer. You feel that there's more to life than what you're living, so it's time to move on. You may be moving on from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you're in control. You're the emperor, basically. 9 of Summer. Oh boy. This is the 5 of Autumn. Focusing upon the negative or worrying about money, career, or a relationship can block your progress. Because your trust and faith are at a low point, it's probably not the best time for you to start your own business or to become self-employed or maybe to enter a relationship. This is lack of commitment or fear of it at least. Fear of abandonment. This is fear of just lack, period, of not having enough, like being hungry, being broke. All part of a mindset that we need to change, that we have the ability to change too, is the Magician. Overall energy is the Queen of Autumn. Thoughtful, caring, creative, and ingenious. You'll be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. Atop the 3 of Air, Major Arcana card Strength. So that this reinforces what I was feeling before for me about like having overcome some sort of pain or being about to overcome some sort of pain. You have the strength, the ability to face whatever this is or whomever this is, the object of it. This can also be connected to again, a breakup, maybe the need even for a divorce or something, and the strength to make it through that. Where somebody may need surgery, if you're able to not do the surgery like around the time of the moon, so like the 6th, 7th, or 8th, if you can avoid those, that would be best. But I mean, you know, you can face that too. But I just felt something about surgery also. But that surgery is not always something that we have control over when it happens. So a top major arcana card, number 1, the Magician, is the King of Summer. Warm-hearted, devoted, loving, and faithful. A trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. So we have a lot in the area of water going on this week. Again, the true node moves into Cancer. That's huge. But it's starting out in you know, or we're starting out in a lot of energy of Scorpio, and the moon enters Scorpio. So that's huge too. It could be either one of those, or even Pisces. You know, Neptune is still around also, and very much powerful, and in retrograde in Pisces, which it rules. So from wherever this water is coming, this can be, of course, a direct water sign who is needing to draw upon their, you know, devices to bring about what they need in life, what they want, you know, the ability to move past whatever this situation is. This can be a Gemini specifically who is trying to become a little bit more in touch with his emotions, to find them first, because we air signs, I mean, ours are like buried kind of deep, especially if you're like me, like a super Gemini. I'm like Gemini upon Gemini upon Gemini in my natal chart. Both of my rulers are in, you know, Venus and Mercury are both in Gemini and stuff like that. Like I'm a true gem, as the card says. So yeah, we gotta look for our emotions sometimes. And this could be, you know, one of us, an air sign maybe specifically, again, Gemini, trying to draw upon their emotion. The King of Summer is somebody who's definitely got them. You know, but he's got them in check too. He's a smooth guy. This can also be something about a situation involving a water sign and an air sign, or a water sign and a Gemini specifically also. At the root, atop the Queen of Water. Boom. Wow. So water sign and a Gemini. Specifically, maybe, again. The Queen of Winter is experienced, self-sufficient, brilliant, and funny. All of your life experiences have prepared you for this moment of truth. It's time to declutter your home, clear away situations that aren't working for you anymore, and to disengage from people who create more drama than happiness. So that could be what this is about, you know, using Queen of Air traits in order to make adjustments to your surroundings, your environment, people, places, and things with which you surround yourself. But again, it's drawing on this, going within and drawing on this, this emotion that air signs, we don't always have at the surface, you know. And a lot of people tend to think that Geminis in particular, but you know, air signs in general also sometimes are superficial, and it's like so the opposite. Like people really don't get it. It's so the opposite. But Gemini says that they love you. They love you. Trust me. Like we don't lie about stuff like that. We don't make stuff like that up, because we don't express those sorts of things often because we like to be sure. We like to be sure. We don't like to tell people that we love them if we don't. So one of the things that we wrestle with ourselves about and overanalyze and overthink about is this love or like lust, infatuation, or something? Like I'm not going to say it until I'm sure. So when we do finally, it's because we really put ourselves into it. Queen of Water. So there could be, again, a Gemini that's represented by this Magician that maybe previously had a veil, you know, was covered by a veil, a deception, lying to himself. I'm not in love. I'm, you know, she doesn't mean anything to me or whatever. Or I can move on She did meet somebody, you know, I'm strong enough to move on, and admitting now that that's not true. Magician can also often be about that also, like somebody that's wearing a mask. And it looks like that mask is coming off and we're moving into a place of truth instead. Top the Two of Earth is the Two of Spring. So this is a general reading. It can be about a partnership having nothing to do with love, and maybe more so have to do with work, and maybe work and family, like you start a new business with a partner, for example, and you know, it requires a lot of your time. It's just the two of you, but you also got to tend to your kids and your spouse or something like that. That can be the situation, or deciding whether or not to give your full time to a project or job and continue moonlighting, you know, at another, and splitting yourself, splitting your time, or, you know, giving up on the side hustle and dedicating yourself fully to one thing. It's making an earthly decision, like about your mind, your money. Can I cut my hours? I'm working too much. Working too many days, working too many hours, working more than one job, that sort of thing, coming up with this. And maybe involving a partner also. Your vision, creativity, and dedication to your cause have brought you great success. In fact, it may be in your best interest to get a partner to assist your endeavors, or to expand the number of people who are helping you. So that can be the decision too, like whether or not to add, include other people, you know, reach out for help. A lot of times we have a problem doing that. You can be guided to do that, but it's more twos. I want to point out there's a lot of twos today. Again, I just felt before the need to get rid of the threes. Like we're trying to move away from the threes and minimize down to two, and partnership and relationship and faith and trust. This 11, major arcana 11, is also another two. Surrounding the feminine, atop the Five of, top the Five of water is the Five of winter. A lot of air and water. We got air and water here, air and water here, air and water here now. But this is conflict. This is, again, pessimism, the need for change in energy. We got to do better. Your current path isn't leading you toward the happiest possible outcome. So why not change it? Always maintain integrity and compassion, but be alert to the hidden agendas of others. Well, what you need to change, again, is this pessimism and doubt, to me, and change it to an attitude of gratitude, where you've got your mind, it's mental anguish, and it's self-pity, and it's not the best path, as it says here on the card. So we want to change that. Atop the Three of Fire, it's the Seven of Fire, Seven of Spring. Be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone take away your personal power. Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. So this is guiding you to follow your intuition as it relates to maybe a party of three, and stand your ground on your decision. If you say, like, I'm done with this, I don't want to be part of a party of three, a love triangle or whatever, and you walk away, then you're supposed to be sticking to your guns. If it has to do with, again, with a business decision or a general decision, whatever it is, you are supposed to, like, not cave to the social norms and what, you know, other people would say you should do or feel. This is about you and what you've decided, and then doing what you want to do about your life and its circumstances. This is crossing the Judgment too. I also mentioned, noticed before, but failed to mention that this Queen of Water is crossing the High Priestess. So there's a lot of reason to pay attention to your intuition, again, when making decisions about what to do here. There's also a couple here. I don't think I said that either, but the King and Queen of Cups are both here. So that indicates a couple, not necessarily both of the element of water or either of the element of water, but it does represent a couple, and very likely a romantic couple present at the table. Which brought me to, what else did I think that I didn't actually say? We're crowned by two twos of fire, basically, because strength represents the sign of Leo, ruled by the sun. It is of the fire element. This is also a 2 of spring. Of course, major arcana card 11, strength is stronger. These, the 5 of winter and 5 of cups, another thing that I was feeling about them was that it had to do with the king of summer. It's here mirroring him. And it's like he is somebody that the feminine may be thinking of leaving. Maybe there has been, again, a party of 3 or love triangle or something. And for some, he is somebody the feminine is thinking about leaving, trying to decide whether or not to do that. And maybe that's what the 2 of earth represents here too, because it's deja vu. It's the same thing over and over. But one other thing that's going to be the same thing over and over is as soon as she walks away, here he come again, especially if there is somebody else, if he sees it with somebody else. And I had heard that song the other day, If It Isn't Love. If It Isn't Love by New Edition. And of course we hear songs all the time, you know, and it's like nothing, but you know, those of you who have any level of clairaudience, you know, when you hear something, sometimes you get like a jolt and you know that it's for a reason. And that's how this came through. I think it had to do with this because I was like honed in on the part where he realized what his mistake had been. He said, I'll let you know the reason. I saw her with another guy. She got to me. That's how it goes. She got to me. I'll let you know the reason. I saw her with another guy. And here's like 2 competing, right? Competing over this spot to be the 2 of cups together. Then he goes on to say, maybe she'll take me back. I made a big mistake. And he's looking for forgiveness. And that's when he realizes, I really love her. And his friends are surprised, like, you love her? What? That's what the rest of the group says. But I'm also hearing at the same time, I had another song into my head just now, and it's an old one. I haven't heard this song since I was a little girl. It's actually a reggae song, and it says, woman, if you love me, please let me know. But if you don't love me, let me go now. And this is like what I'm feeling here too, like a woman struggling with the decision of what she wants to do. Like the guy is back, he's returned. And she can't make up her mind if she's interested or not. It's like you're getting what you wanted finally, but do you still want it? Or are you sure? You have to make a decision. She may be a fire sign, maybe an air sign. He may be a water sign. And she's got to decide if she wants this 2 of water. Or leave him alone and stop like pulling his energy in, you know, how we're able to do. Stop manifesting him. All right, I think that's it for now. I mentioned the couple, right? The couple at the table, the king and queen of water. I think so. And they're not necessarily both water signs, but that's possible too, that there's something going on, like 2 water signs that are together, and it shouldn't be. So that needs to end too, and that's what's going to cause current pain. But the strength to remove yourself, like you're realizing it now with Venus in Libra, you know, you're realizing it. And you're saying, you know, maybe this wasn't a good idea, this thing. And so I got to separate myself from this. And with what better energy to do that than the Queen of Winters? And she just cuts shit off. Lickety split. Could be cutting this off specifically for a relationship between air and water instead of water and water. Also. Or fire and water instead of water and water. Crowning atop Judgment, major arcana card Judgment, the Empress, very nice. So where Pluto represents like the dead, Pluto and Scorpio, the dead, And then, of course, rebirth, coming back to life. This is like the ultimate, right? The Empress is a brand new start. It's another 3. So we could be coming back from a 3, or the 3 could represent, creativity, creation, like new life for something, new life for a relationship, for a partnership, for 2. That can be 2. Time to hop into action. Use your natural creativity to bring forth prosperity and success in your life. Major Arcana card, the Empress, again, for me, represents the planet Venus, and therefore the signs that she rules. Libra, where she's located right now in retrograde. Also Taurus, where Uranus is leaving this week, so that it can enter Aries instead. And lastly, Gemini, represented by the Magician here. At the root, all these 5s and 2s, like we're worried about loss. But you know what? I'm getting a good feeling about this, because I'm feeling like this is material stuff. And again, it has to do with these realizations about love, whatever the feminine realizes and decides for herself, if she loves the guy and she wants him back, or whatever he comes to a realization like, oop, I screwed up, and I see like she's moving on, so I got to come back now. And that gets tired, right? Or the coming back or whatever, like you coming back to stay or not, is a song that I hear all the time in my house. It's an old daddy's home. It's not Usher. It's an old one. And he says he's home to stay finally. So it's like that. Are you coming to stay, or you're going to be leaving again? Because I think that's what she's not interested in. But this, I'm feeling, is like a realization that the material isn't that important when you really come down to it. Like when you realize the love that you had from somebody, and that can't be bought. It's irreplaceable. You haven't been able to find it anywhere else or in anyone else, no matter how you searched. Nobody better looking, maybe, like the Empress, very attractive. Not to say that, either is unattractive, but you may have tried to find somebody that's more your type. A lot of times in these unions, people are not, it's not the person's type. It's somebody other than who you would normally date, with whom you're partnered for this. So maybe you looked for something that made more sense, and, haven't found it. And I think now you're realizing, like, stuff, money and things and flashy stuff and flashy people doesn't mean as much as, the love. At the heart of the matter, atop the High Priestess, the 8 of Autumn. It's the perfect time to learn all you can by returning to school, taking a seminar, or conducting research. Do your best work, and the law of attraction will bring you prosperity and career advancement. Also, I'm going to say relationships. If you put your work into them, it's going to come out phenomenal. And it's sitting here next to the Magician. So basically, you put the positive energy out. That's what you're going to reap. That's what you're going to bring back in. That's how the law of attraction works. And who can better do it, and with more forethought, than the High Priestess? Because again, she's looking from all perspectives. She's using her intellect, her wisdom, her intuition. She's super psychic. She's got all these things at her behest to use to figure this out, what she should do. This could also be the High Priestess acknowledging that she doesn't have to do anything else. Like I said, she doesn't move, she doesn't act unless she feels like she should. Otherwise, she just observes. And so this can be like allowing things to unfold too, sitting here under judgment, or like justice, like let justice be done, or thy will, the universe's will be done. And she's not going to step in and get involved. Or if she does decide to make a move, it's because she knows it's the right thing to do. And she'll probably do it quietly still. Real G's move in silence. I already said she is a G. She's a Gemini. And it's here crossing the Queen of Winter and sitting next to the Magician. This is a real G. Like how I was describing myself, like I'm a real Gemini. Venus in Gemini, Mercury in Gemini, Gemini Sun. I could keep on going on with all my Gemini. She's a real G. And so she's going to, if she moves, it's going to be silently, and she's going to make that decision, or he's going to make that decision if it's the masculine employing this high priestess energy to, go after what they want, regardless of what like society thinks, or like the friends. You love her. What? Like, that's not your type or our type or the norm, that sort of shock. Doing what they know they should do. I think that's all I see. Let's do the advice. Actually, I do want to point out, while we might be worried about material things or finally getting, learning to get over that, material things are on their way. Our overall energy was the Queen of Autumn, thoughtful, caring, creative, ingenious. You will be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. So wise, you can come up into this abundance. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. So that's what we're learning to do. Also, up right behind that is the Ace of Spring. Here's the new opportunity right here, maybe to become abundant. A wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may have come as a surprise, but you'll still want to keep it, just to leap into action and to passionately pursue every possibility. Well, what also talks about leaping into action? The Empress does. Time to hop into action. Use your natural creativity to bring forth the prosperity and success in your life. Well, this Ace of Spring is what? Very possibly Jupiter in Sagittarius, which happens this week. Also up right behind that, it's the last one. It's the Nine of Spring. You've worked hard, and what you've created is impressive and worthy of protecting. Annoying challenges may pop up, but don't worry. You'll get through them just as you have in the past. This tells us to keep going and to persevere. This Nine of Spring is saying to continue to persevere, not to give up. If you started a partnership or you're considering starting a partnership of any kind, and definitely some of them are business too, even if you had conflict, difficulty, other people have told you you're not going to make it. And so maybe that's what's caused some of this. Again, mental anguish, stuff in your head, feelings of lack, feelings of doubt. Let go of there is movement. There is movement in your finances and in your progress, even where you can't necessarily see it. But you're definitely going to have to let go of this fear and feeling and speaking and thought of lack over yourself. Here, the High Priestess, your wisdom, your intellect, your intuition is telling you, reminding you that if you put the work in, you're going to be rewarded. It's going to pay off. To let go of the Five of Autumn and replace it with the Empress, which is all about abundance and prosperity and major arcana. So far stronger than that five. And then it's here on top of Judgment again, which also is about money or abundance, not necessarily money, but abundance earned. So that can be money, material, love, combinations of those, all of the above, new opportunities, new starts, just as the Ace of Spring is. And certainly our overall energy, again, to come back to that, the Queen of Autumn is about, either us doing well, thriving, or this is a facilitator in our lives, somebody that helps us to come into the abundance that we're seeking and that we work for, that we deserve. Top of that, the next card is Magician in reverse. So I would have stopped here, but I do want to point out it's another Magician. So it's about the ability to manifest, but also it's upside down, and it's like that veil again falling off here. And in that regard, I do feel it's more having to do with relationships, I guess, especially with, again, the King and Queen of Cups being here. The next card is actually that Sagittarius energy that I spoke of, that I said Jupiter's bringing you this gift before he heads out, right? Before he heads into Sagittarius, which he rules. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are fluttering your way. Personal growth and broadened horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. So here's the fertile new start again. Oh, but the Magician I was talking about. With the King and Queen of Cups here, I definitely feel that this part is more so about a relationship. Again, and taking me back to that song. Also, the New Edition song, I feel that too. The need to trust that there's movement behind the scenes. Again, whether you see it or not. Let go of this feeling of lack and these fears of abandonment, fears of commitment, fears of whatever. Pride, ego. This can just be, representative of any kind of negative emotion. And loss of love, maybe loss. This can represent that too. At the time where you had brought about pain in your own life and or the partners. That can be what this Five of Winter represents too. And the song speaks to that too. Losing love, right? Losing love. Worrying about my image. Right, he's in the Empress, this attractive Venus, the planet of confidence, popularity, beauty, money, love, like all things awesome. Attractiveness. Worrying about my image really helped me realize that if it isn't love, why do I feel like this? Like the King of Cups. Like the Queen of Cups. Why do I feel this way? And why is this thing on my mind? Why does it hurt so bad? Make me feel so sad? So it's a realization, going back all the way back to the beginning of the reading where we saw the Tower, and as well as the Knight of Cups. A realization about one's true feelings and that mask, that veil falling off, right? No longer blind to his own sensitivities and emotions. That's very King of Cups. King of Cups is super aware of his emotions. Again, and they're in check. The scriptures say, let those who have eyes see. So it's like the veil uncovering the eyes, or the fish scales of Paul on the road to Damascus, right? Not believing, not having faith, not trusting. I don't believe in any of this stuff, divine love or a connection between us. I reject it all, until suddenly those fish scales fall off the eyes. Then you can see. Then there's a desire to protect that which you've created, which in that case would be union, connection, soul level connection that you didn't necessarily create, but you helped to bring together the union. This one, oh yeah, overall energy. Okay. Yeah, our advice. I'm like, well, what's next after all that? And then a reminder that this is to what we're getting, right? This was the overall energy of the first Angel Tarot, the Two of Cups. So it's about forgiveness and coming together. And it's another two for us. We got two, 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 all right, that's it. But there's a lot of twos represent partnership and also faith. So there's a lot of that on this table. And then there's a couple of threes, again, that I feel we're moving away from as it relates to relationships, but toward as it relates to abundance in other areas, in career, work, finance, elevation, ascension, success. Releasing negative emotions and cords of attachment. We're cancel, clear, and delete. Use only positive words and thoughts as their rapidly manifesting form. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. Rapidly taking form, being manifested. You are profoundly clairvoyant. Trust what you see in your mind's eye, as well as with your physical sight. For your spiritual vision helps you with healing, teaching, and guidance. What I just say about being able to see now. But also your intuition, right? That mind's eye. Cancel, clear, delete. If you get nervous, focus on service. Work. That's at the heart of the matter. Put your entire intention on answering the question, how can I make the world a better place? And the law of attraction will automatically take care of your needs. The law of attraction, you say, huh? Okay. The law of attraction will bring you prosperity and career advancement. And then I had added relationship success as well. If you get nervous, focus on service. And vegetarian/vegan. Fresh organic fruits and vegetables give you a boost of high life force energy, which elevates your spiritual frequency. That could be another nod to the Queen of Earth, which is our overall energy as well. I don't think I mentioned, I did in fact start that group. I mentioned in last week's, I think general and love reading, that I had been moved to start some sort of page or something. I found out later that day that Jupiter and Chiron were trine. Jupiter in Scorpio and Chiron in Aries, both of which are, part of my natal chart. The Jupiter in Scorpio and the Chiron in Aries. So, and what they do together is push people to want to use their experiences in order to help to heal other people. So it totally made sense why I had been moved to, like, all of a sudden to make that page and stuff. That was the purpose. That I've experienced some things, and I revealed those. I posted pictures of myself on both my Facebook and my IG, and told a little bit about my story, my experience having moved from vegetarian at one point to vegan. It did not necessarily work out that well for me, but it may for you. But you could read my story under the picture if you go on either of those pages. Also, I posted it in the group for those who missed it and those who want to join. The group is Divine Oneness on Facebook. You can just look that up and click to ask to join if you want to be a part of it. And it's just a bunch of people sharing, reminding each other to drink enough water, and to those of us who are participating in certain challenges that are posted in the group, plank challenge, squats challenge, reminder to do them and to check in when they're done. I did mine today, and or I struggled today, and then to have somebody to talk to about those struggles that we go through. All of that connected to the earth, and I think the Uranus and Taurus as well. It's very much about working on the matters of the earthly and our health. You are a profound. I don't know why that came out. It says powerful, and I'm looking right at it, but profound came out. So you're a profound light worker as well as a powerful one. It is safe for you to be powerful. Your spiritual power brings great blessings in loving service to the divine. And one more. That this was meant to be the last one, right? We've come full circle. Cancel, clear, delete. Use only positive words and thoughts as they're rapidly manifesting into form. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. That's something else that we're working on in that group, where posting words under one of the posts where I asked the question, like, what words can we delete from our vocabulary and stop speaking them over ourselves and over humanity? And so we've listed some there. Things that, in an effort to move toward like only speaking positivity over ourselves and other people. Only. And that will help us collectively to increase the love vibration, but also our own abundance and ability to manifest. What was that? Goddess. Express your divine feminine energy, embracing its magical intuition and nurturing qualities. And as I was picking this up, I had just thought that I didn't mention another successful page that I had started, Divine, quote unquote, Girl Talk. And recently one of my original, viewers, subscribers, supporters, a woman named Yvonne, she volunteered to help me with the page. I had put out a call when I first started it, like if anybody's interested in helping me with the page to moderate or admin or whatever, I would appreciate it, because I want to make sure it gets the time that it deserves. And she stepped up and volunteered and has been doing, she just started, but she did a blog Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in hopes of continuing that. And they've been very well received. I mean, like tremendously well received. And I've also shared those on both my Facebook page and my IG. So some of you have seen them there. If you want to actually join the page, there we talk about, we have Girl Talk. We express our divine feminine energy. And we embrace its magical intuition and nurturing qualities and nurture one another by, providing advice, reading the questions that different divine feminine pose and, giving the advice that we feel is appropriate to that sister. All right. Other than that, we have come to, we did it again. Back to the same card. If you get nervous, focus on service. So that's just the reminder of how the law of attraction works, to tie it back in, and the fact that if we put this positive energy, our effort into something, we will reap the reward of that. Put your entire intention on answering the question, how can I make the world a better place? The law of attraction will automatically take care of your needs. Overall energy is past life issue. This situation has a basis in one of your previous lifetimes. Ask your angels to help you remember, release, learn, and heal from your past experiences. Further advice to the masculine from the angel therapy cards. Parents. The divine truth is that your parents eternally love you to the best of their ability. The angels are helping you to heal from pain associated with your mother or father. That can be from where, for example, the fear of abandonment comes. Or even the fear of commitment. Maybe you didn't see before you a healthy relationship between your parents, and so you've been having trouble having one of your own. This is a time for you to seek healing for that. And if you want to, or if you are inclined to, work with angels on these things. The angel of past, when I picked this up, that cancel, clear, delete card is behind it again. The angel of past life issues is Archangel Jeremiah. So you might want to talk to him. The angel of healing, though, is Archangel Raphael. So you might want to call on him. Of course, Michael can help us with all things and clarity of mind and digging deeper. And Metatron is the archangel of light workers in general. Chamuel, unconditional love. He can also help you with this sort of issue, right? Being able to love your parents and forgive them, yet not necessarily like what they've done or what they've, caused as an extension of themselves to you, any pain or hurt. But again, we have the strength to work through that as well, to face it now. To the feminine from the angel therapy, throat chakra. You got to learn to speak up. The angels are helping you to lovingly speak your truth. Okay, and I spoke to this, especially as it related to relationships for the feminine, where this two of spring maybe represents a divine union or a twin flame. If you love me, please let me know. If you don't love me, let me go now. And this is like loss and letting go too. So that may be where some of us need to express ourselves. Throat chakra. From the angel tarot to the masculine is the Sagittarius energy again. Page of fire, outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. For the feminine, major arcana card, ego, the devil. A false sense of entrapment. I think this is this. Especially crossing this other 5. Which is sitting here at top of an 8. This is feeling like we can't move. Right? So we are entrapped. But I think it's a prison again of your own thoughts and words and mind. False sense of entrapment. Being overly focused on material things. What did I say? I said we're going, particularly the masculine, coming to a place where the material is not so much important anymore. We're realizing this is not important. So the feminine needs to do the same. Negative or fear-based thoughts. That's what this is too, right? All these 5s. This can also be representative of a Capricorn, who's particularly impactful during this week or in your life. From the animal tarot to the masculine, it's another high priestess. This is a time to pause and to reflect, not necessarily to take action. Trust, remember I said 2s mean trust, not just relationship or partnership, they mean trust too. Trust in your spiritual gift, major arcana card 2, as nothing is hidden from your divine intuition. So your sight, rather, your divine sight. You have the ability to see now. That veil has fallen off. So look, comprehend, absorb like a sponge, like the high priestess does, and then decide whether or not you're going to make a move and what that move is going to be, rather than just like rushing to judgment or reckless abandon and all that kind of stuff. This is thinking something through based on what my heart says, what my intuition says, what my wisdom says, what my intellect says, like all of it, all of it. And from the animal tarot to, very nice, to the feminine, the Prince of Spring, passionate, charismatic, confident, and restless. An important opportunity arises that needs your attention right away. Moving quickly is important, yet there's nothing you can't handle if you follow your inner guidance. So again, the High Priestess. This is for us too. Paying attention to that is going to lead us to the right path. Now, who's this Prince of Spring? He is a Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, maybe a Scorpio. Again, he's the knight in shining armor. He is Prince Charming. He is Jupiter. He is Chiron in Aries. He is Uranus, maybe moving into Aries this week. It is action. It is movement. It is something about which we're passionate, this opportunity, or about whom, someone about whom we are passionate, this opportunity. So we're driven to go for it when it presents itself to us. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the weekly. I will be back with love. Please, again, do like, share, and subscribe. If you actually like the video, please. I need you to. It helps me. Share, subscribe if you haven't already. If you have already, make sure that you're still subscribed and that the bell is still checked. You're still receiving notifications. Do check out the Divine Oneness page on Facebook if you're interested in getting and or maintaining health and healthy with the rest of us, or with some others of us. Do check out Divine Girl Talk also on Facebook. And I guess that's it. I'll be back with love. Namaste.